it was my 90-year-old mother that rang me and informed me that Ian had been seriously assaulted in Trafalgar Square and was in intensive care. So I was really shocked, and the first thing I wanted to do was to get there, and following that I wanted to know how it had all happened and try and piece every bit of information together to find out who did what and how it actually occurred. My elderly mother, who relied on my brother Ian every day, sometimes twice a day, and that's a big void in her life now. And he would go and visit her every couple of weeks or every month, and they enjoyed each other's company. They were very close, and all that has gone now. She didn't ever think that she would lose her son when she was 90 years of age. She always thought that she would be the first to die. So I think that's a huge thing for her to get her head round. It's not something that you can predict how you're going to react to. Well, initially I was shocked and deeply upset, perhaps angry about what I'd heard, and I heard from his close friend that he had heard that there had been some kicking and stamping, and that really disturbed me. I was very, very distraught about it and couldn't imagine what sort of scene must have taken place that night. I don't feel revenge. I was puzzled by what had happened. I felt deeply upset by the loss, but somehow separated that from the facts and how it had all happened and who had been behind the attack. So I had really separated out the emotions behind that, and I feel that in my brother's case, revenge would not have been something that I could have dealt with easily. It was very, very hard not to keep questioning why had he gone out that night, what if he'd been on the other side of the road, what if he hadn't been with a friend, if he was walking on his own. All these questions crop up in my mind constantly because it helps me try and understand what led to this dreadful assault and attack on my brother. You know, although Ian died, we had to wait some 4 and 5 weeks before we could actually have his funeral and put him to rest, which is very distressing, and one doesn't realise how important such rituals as funerals can be. Closure is very difficult because you wonder why it happened in the first place, and you struggle with trying to piece together what actually happened and making sense of it. I think also that for people who have been affected by such crimes, that it's something that they have to live with. It's something that becomes part of who they are and their life story. Being faced with attending the trial was the most awful experience I think that I've had to undergo. It was 6 weeks long, and the jury could not make a majority verdict at the end, and it was quite emotional to have to listen to the defence lawyers suggesting different things about the person that you'd lost, and perhaps having to sit there and understand that they were trying to defend their clients. All of these things are tremendously upsetting and distressing. That there was some accountability for their actions. Some people may suggest that it may not have been long enough. My view is that it may not have been long enough and that they may have got a short sentence. However, they have actually now got a record, and it's part of who they are, and only time will tell whether or not they change their behaviour. Something that I would like to see very much is better reporting of such crimes, and how amazed I was at the witnesses who came forward, who were tremendously brave in my view, who saw some terrible things taking place, but 6 months and even a year later were prepared to come back and tell the court what they saw. And it's those people that will actually make a difference. I would personally like to thank them all. Mark Healy put on the first vigil, which was a tremendous success, and very soon after Ian's death, it was a matter of weeks after his death, and actually before the funeral. So it was a tremendous event when so many gay people came to Trafalgar Square to spend time thinking about hate crime and the people that have been affected by that so badly. I feel that Ian's spirit remains. His memories are there. People who knew him will always have those memories, and he will, while I'm alive and while his family and his friends are alive, he will always be alive too.